Let's journey into the new year with Psalm 121. The 15 Psalms from Psalm 120 to 134 are known as a Psalm of Ascents. These songs were sung by those traveling to Jerusalem for the three great feasts. They were also called travel songs, songs for the road, and songs for the journey of life. We all need help at times in life. It's good to have a support system in place, but we need to look further than that because history and experience teaches us that no safety plan, no insurance policy, no security system can keep you and me absolutely safe in this life. You can follow all the safety rules, take every precaution, exercise and eat well, and things can still go wrong. That's why we need to look to God for our help. It was Ben Franklin who said, God helps those who help themselves. But the scripture teaches us that God helps those who seek his help. None of us are safe until we take refuge in God. This was written by Samuel Cox. Psalm 121 is a psalm about trusting in God. Psalm 121 is called a travel psalm. In fact, many families read the psalm out loud together before going on a trip. Devout Jews recite portions of the psalm when they leave or enter their homes. They attach a small cylinder called mezuzah with some scriptures in it. Mezuzah is a piece of parchment called cloth contained in a decorative case and inscribed with specific Hebrew verses from the Torah, Deuteronomy 6:4-9 and 11:13-21. This is attached to their right door frame, and whenever they enter or leave their home, they touch the mezuzah and recite Psalm 121 verses 5 and 8. Psalm 121 teaches us three valuable truths. One, that our Creator is our helper. Two, the God of Israel is our protector. Three, the Lord will keep us from all harm. First of all, the Creator is your helper. Let's look at verses 1 to 2. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. These are beautiful verses of scripture that have brought much comfort to God's people over the years. I know many of you have quoted these verses in times of need, and they tell us several things about God and the help that He provides. First of all, they encourage us to look beyond the mountains to God who created them. The hills in verse 1 are part of the argument here. Mountains are symbols of strength and stability. They are great in size, long-lasting, and unchanging. The creation reflects the Creator, and so God, who made the mountains, is even greater in power and strength. The hills are also upward in direction. We need to tend to look down when we are in trouble, right? Our faces are downcast. Our focus is on our troubles and all our problems down here, and they tend to drag us down further. But don't look down. That's the wrong direction. The hills are a reminder that we are to look up. You must lift your eyes to look at a mountain, but don't stop there. Are you looking high enough? You must look beyond the mountains to the God who created them, because God is higher than all. Remember, these psalms were sung by travelers on the way to Jerusalem, and it is possible they may have sung the psalm as they were nearing the hills that surrounded Jerusalem. In that case, they were not only looking up at the mountains, but they would also be looking up towards Jerusalem and the temple, the dwelling place of God. Psalm 46 verse 1 tells us, God is our refuge and strength, and ever-present help in trouble. In Psalm 90, verse 2, we read, "Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world from everlasting to everlasting, you are God." Psalm 90, verse 2. God is bigger than the mountains, and God is before the mountains. We don't look to the mountains for our strength, but the mountains get our eyes off our problems and lift our eyes up towards God who can help us in a time of need. So just don't look to the hills, but look to the one who made the hills. Look past the creation to the Creator. As Pastor Josh Moody writes, nature is not the solution, it points to the solution. Look beyond the mountains to the God who created them. In verse 1 of the psalmist says, "Where does my help come?" And in verse 2, we get the answer, "My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." The description of God as a maker of heaven and earth appears again in Psalm 124, verse 8, which reads, "Our help is the Lord who made heaven and earth." In Jeremiah 10, verse 2, we read, "God made the earth by his power. He had established the world by his wisdom and had stretched out the heavens by his discretion." In other words, the maker of heaven and earth has unlimited power, wisdom, and understanding. He has all the resources and more to meet your every need. He's got the whole world in his hands, and he is your helper. So, what is the source of your help? Psalm 121 tells us, the maker of heaven and earth. That's the first truth we learn from the psalm. The Creator is your helper. Can you trust him? Be blessed.